Happy May. It's gonna be May. Oh, I love this time of year. Summer is just around the corner, and that is my favorite time to skate. It is just all the best vibes, and vibe is what we're going for this month. We are going to be doing choreography to Rollin' by Calvin Harris. This song, number one, it says Rollin' in the title, and we are going to roll. But before we get into all of that, I am going to explain what I want you to practice, what I want you to focus on, all of that fun stuff. All of this can be found within the membership on thatnicolefiore.com or right here on YouTube, and the membership has hundreds of videos. I am going to lay out this month's practice schedule. We are going to do things a little bit differently this month. I'm not going to give you as many things to practice because I really want you to focus in on a few very particular things. Okay, so week one, we are going to do a drills class that is off skates. We are going to be focusing on our core with planks. These videos can be found in the Mind, Body, Soul videos. So please check that out. You don't need skates on, but you can honestly have skates on because we will be doing planks. So you can use those toe stops to anchor you down onto the floor, or your toe wheels, because that will make things even more difficult. So if you do want to wear your skates, totally fine, but you don't need them on for this drills class. Our skill this week is the heel-toe manuals. Now, a manual is when you balance on your heel and toe. You can do toe manuals, heel-toe manuals. This week, I want you to focus on that heel-toe. We use this balance a lot. It's kind of shocking how much we use it. If you've ever heard of a heel-toe spin, that is this position while spinning. There is so much to learning how to balance on your toes, and I love my toe stops. I wear my toe stops all the time. I wear my toe stops while I do all of this toe work. You don't need to remove your toe stops, but you totally can if you do prefer to skate without them. There's no right or wrong way about this. But when I'm balancing on my toes, I don't need to go so far onto the toe. I have a nice balance point on my axis that I have that I find every time. And that is the key, to find it every time and to create that muscle memory so that you can do this whether you have toe stops in or toe stops out. For our practice this week, we are going to be doing the dribble. Now, I call this the dribble / slingshot because you can do it just on your toes. It's like a stationary moonwalk, or you can do a little bit of an edge and turn yourself into a dribble. And it's a really fun dance move on its own. It's really fun to put in between certain moves. It's kind of a moment that I use to think of what my next move is going to be, but it does also work with the toes. So it's not really a balancing move on just the toes like the manual is. It has one stationary foot on the ground, all wheels on the ground, and then one that moves on the toes. So it's a nice little warm up for everything else that we're about to get into for this month. All right, week two, we are going to be doing our choreography to Rollin'. Like I said, this song is a whole vibe. This is like our pre-summer warm up, so to speak. This choreography uses a lot of skills. Now, the beginner intermediate is beginner intermediate. It is for everyone. And I classify this one as slow, which is kind of shocking because I rarely do slow choreography. This is like a cruising vibe in this choreography, and it covers so many skills. We have toe balance. Now, this is not just like on your toes. This is 1 foot at a time working on the toes. Kind of sort of like noodle legs, if you know what that is. We are also working on, in this choreography, a cross behind, a heel to heel transition, and our dribble, as well as those heel toe manuals that we already worked on last week. So there is a lot happening in this choreography, but like I said, it's kind of a cruising slow vibe. So I really want you to think about that. Don't feel rushed. Don't even feel that you need to do this to the exact beat. You can take as much time as you want. This choreography leads us directly into our advanced choreography, which is going to be in week 4. So if you want to connect them for a full routine, it is so much fun to do. Now for our practice this week, I want us to work on our toe manuals. So instead of balancing on the heel and the toe, this week I want you to simply balance on the toe. Now, something very important to remember when you are balancing on your toes, like I said, you don't have to go so far. You have that axis, that's the bar that holds your two front wheels. That is what I want you to balance on. So I don't want you to go too far to the front, and I don't want you to stay too far to the back that you can't actually go on your toes. We have to find that nice sweet spot. I recommend doing 1 foot at a time. So just like our choreography introduces, 1 foot at a time, feeling that out. And then I want you to go to both toes. Keep your knees bent when you're doing this. Really pay attention to that core. So back to our drills that we did in week 1 with those planks, that is, like I said, warming us up for everything that we are going to do throughout this month. So think about that when you're doing the toe manuals. All right, week 3. We are going to do drills number 4, which is on toe stop balance. Now, although we're doing a lot on our toes, not necessarily on our toe stops, I really want you to feel that placement on your toes. So whether you practice all this month stuff with toe stops or without, I want you to put some toe stops in for these drills. You can get away with doing this on toe plugs if you're very careful, just something to anchor you a little bit more into the ground than just your toe wheels. But this toe stop balance is really good. Think about your core when you are doing this. That is the key to everything, keeping us really still and in control when we are on our skates, because wheels like to roll. So we need to have something centering us, keeping us anchored, keeping everything together. So think about that core while you do drills 4. That rhymed. Our skill this week is crazy legs. Now we are doing in our in-person workshop here in Orange County, we are doing crazy legs for our workshop. If tickets are still available, please get those. That is the second Saturday of every month is an in-person workshop. Crazy legs take a lot of practice. It says it in the name, they are crazy. It doesn't matter if you've been skating for 2 days or 22 years, crazy legs can be very challenging for every skater. We've been working on that toe balance, and this is very useful in crazy legs. It's something that we don't really think about too much because we're not needing to fully balance on the toes for the entire thing, and that is actually something I want to remind everyone. I get people who've been practicing crazy legs doing the entire thing on their toes. It's like this swivelly motion. If you don't know what crazy legs are, they're very fun. But you don't need to stay on your toes the entire time. You plant your feet and then you come up on the toes, plant your feet. So you don't need to be on your toes the entire time. It's just a very small portion of time in the crazy legs, but take it one step at a time. I start with steppy crazy legs. It's just creating that pattern with your feet, and then you move things together, combine things to make the actual crazy legs happen. Take your time on crazy legs. Now our practice for this week, I want us to do our toe spins. Now, heel toe spins are what we usually do when we are learning how to spin on skates. When we want a little bit more rotation after we've mastered 2 foot spins, we go to heel toe spins. That will allow us to spin faster. We can also use that same technique instead of on the heel toe, on the toes. So this is both skates on the toe wheels, only toe wheels. I want you to try this out. I want you to take your time, just like the crazy legs. It takes time. This stuff is not super easy, but I also don't want that to scare you because you have to start somewhere. And I want you to really start working on that toe balance because it will unlock so many fun things on skates. And our last week, this week I want us to focus on our roll-in choreography, this time the advanced version. So like I said earlier, the beginner intermediate flows directly into the advanced. So if you learn both, no matter how wonderful of a skater you are, I always want you to start with the beginner intermediate and then go into the advanced, because when they connect together like this, it is so much fun. This choreography uses a lot of skills, and that is why I love choreography so much, especially as an instructor and as a choreographer. I like to use choreography to teach us skills, because when I can hide them in between dance moves or create dance moves out of them, that's when we really enjoy our practice, so that we actually are practicing without thinking that we are even practicing those skills. This choreography uses toe spins, crazy legs, traveling crazy legs, dribble, a backward edge rock over, a snake walk, kind of a corkscrew spin. There's a lot. I had to look at my notes because I have a whole list of what it uses. There's a lot of stuff within this choreography. This one is a little bit faster than the beginner intermediate. The beginner intermediate I labeled as slower. This one I'm making more moderate because it's the same beats, it's the same song, but the moves are a little bit quicker and it is more advanced, hence the category. So please check that out. It is such a vibe, literally, although the lyrics literally say at the end of it, so I guess you weren't the vibe, but the choreography is a vibe. Our practice this week, I want you to work on those traveling crazy legs. Now, crazy legs stay in one place. You're just moving your feet. You can edge these backwards. I actually really enjoy edging crazy legs, and I actually have a skills class called Edgy Crazy Legs that explains that a bit more. But you can also do traveling crazy legs. These crazy legs travel to one side and the other. So instead of staying stationary, you move yourself in one direction and then the other second foot kind of catches up and then you move yourself and it catches up. So it moves and travels side to side. This is at the end of our advanced choreography. And I really do want you to practice that because this is so fun to like do crazy legs and then switch it up and kind of travel towards someone. You can connect all of these moves that I'm talking about. Every single thing that we do, you can connect together. And honestly, the choreography pretty much does that. So we're never out of things to practice. Even if you feel that you are a master at these things, I want you to revisit them. If you have no idea what any of these skill titles are, that is totally okay. I will explain everything in each video. Don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, you have to start somewhere, and I would love to teach you all of these things, and I would love if you would check out the membership on thatnicolefiore.com or right here on YouTube. You just click that join button on my channel. It has hundreds of videos, and if you want a roadmap completely from A to Z of everything that I want every skater to know, everything I think every skater should know, please check out my foundations course on thatnicolefiore.com. Unlike the membership where it's just hundreds of videos, I have it in categories and things like that, but the course is a layout A to Z, what I think everyone should know. So it's a bit more organized and a bit of a one-stop shop to get you to where you want to be. Then the membership, I highly recommend checking that out because that is like beyond. So I hope you have a great month. I hope you are happy and healthy and safe. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. You can also book private lessons with me on thatnicolefiore.com, and I will see you later. Bye.